Hello and welcome to the Primis Propositions vodcast, Hear the Lion Roar. I'm Matt Brown, Head of Proposition, and I'm joined by our new host for 2024, Liz Wilkie. Hello, Liz, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Great to have you on board.
Great.
I'm glad. So we're joined by Beth Foryszewski from LandBay today. So Beth, you're the National Account Manager for LandBay. Before we get cracking, tell us a bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm Beth, and good pronunciation on the surname. I've been in the industry for around 10 years now, always kind of been in the specialist buy-to-let sector. Started off at CHL Mortgages, and then I did work as a mortgage broker and a packager for a short time as well. But I've been with LandBay over 5 years now. So I was previously a BDM, so for the first 4 years, and then moved into the national accounts team around this time last year. So and always just loved the people side of it. You know, this industry's got so many great people in it, and being in relationship management, you just get to meet loads of people and chat and learn things. It's really great.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for joining us today, Beth. So what we're here to talk about, LandBay is one of our really specialist buy-to-let lenders, and you've made some really agile, interesting changes with the introduction of the AVM to your process. Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, of course. So the AVMs were launched last week to whole of market. We did do a pilot prior to that with a few of our packager accounts. But with the AVM, it's, obviously we know AVMs in the resi world, but in the specialist buy-to-let market, we are one of the first to do that. So when the broker keys their case, rather than doing a standard physical valuation, they will click a button and it will run an AVM based on lots of different data points. So I believe there's data taken from Zoopla and also from Land Registry, the Ordnance Survey. And with that data, it will then obviously check against what the broker has keyed versus what the data returns. And then we'll have an internal confidence score. And then it obviously either passes or fails. And then at that point, the broker can continue the case. And hopefully it's just a case of getting those documents reviewed by the underwriter and getting to offer.
Brilliant. So that really simplifies and streamlines the process for the brokers. But the thing that all of our brokers will always want to know with any kind of mortgage case that they're submitting, tell us about the detail, tell us about how this is going to speed up their timeframes.
Yeah, so on the pilot cases that we had, I believe we had one that got from app to offer in 3 days. So, again, in the resi world, I think my mortgage was about 3 days app to offer, so it's quite normal. But in the specialist buy-to-let world, it's quite unusual. So it's fantastic for us because, of course, with the physical valuation, you've got to obviously get it booked in. And during busy periods, that can take a few days to get it booked in. Obviously, the valuer's got to go out and do it, and then they've got to do their report. So that could take, 5 working days to get that valuation back. But of course, this is, I believe it's instant. It might be a couple of minutes, but, it's virtually no time at all when in the grand scheme of things. And also the solicitor doesn't have a valuation report to review at the conveyancing stage. So that's obviously going to shave time down for the solicitor. And we know with solicitors, time is money. So it's just another thing that's going to save that cost, but also cost to the client. There's no valuation fee to pay, of course. So LandBay cover the cost of the AVM. We just really want to make the process as quick and easy for clients. People just want things to go quickly and get things sorted. And in the buy-to-let market, it's moving fast and technology is so important. So we think it's a really positive step forward.
Brilliant, Beth. So, that'll be music to brokers' ears in terms of shaving down time, no cost, lots of buzzwords in there that people like. I guess, if we think about the type of cases that this might be applicable for, what do you think that are the sort of type of cases you see this fitting with?
Yeah, so when I was a BDM, you'd always get those phone calls with brokers with a bit of panic in their voice saying, oh, I need to get this case through so quickly. What do you think is the realistic time frame to get this to offer? Whether the estate agent and the seller are putting pressure on to get an offer out. And before, if you had a complex case or whatever it was, the underwriting and the valuation could take a bit of time. You say, oh, maybe like 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, depending on the circumstances. But now with an AVM product, it could be a matter of days. So, you know, there's those cases that just need to be done quickly. Auctions as well, you know, they're often time restricted with an auction purchase. They've got to complete within a certain time period. So it'd be great for those types of cases. Or maybe where there's capital raising to get funds out to do something else. Maybe those funds are needed very quickly. And of course, it just shaves that time down. So yeah, those types of cases it will work for.
Perfect. And how confident are you in the AVM scoring?
So we did some retrospective testing with a few thousand of LandBay's completed cases that had been valued and, you know, sort of been and gone. So we looked at what the broker and the client had put forward as the values, and then what our valuer had come back with. And then we ran that through the AVM and compared it with our confidence scores. And I can't give away the confidence threshold, unfortunately. I think product would probably not be very happy if I did that, giving away our secrets. But, you know, we've done that level of testing with our back book. Then we also had the pilot scheme, and we were only going to go out fully to market until we'd started until we'd hit a certain number of cases within that pilot scheme. So once we hit that, we were obviously then able to, you know, go out whole of market, because we didn't want to go out until we knew it was perfect, basically. So yeah, we are very confident, and we've got fantastic people in our tech team. You know, they must have a combined IQ of about 1 billion. So you know, they're always constantly working away and looking at improvements. So yeah, I'm very confident that it's good.
Sounds like our combined IQ on this podcast.
Obviously.
Oh, that sounds brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and really innovative, and moving the industry forward, really, not just yourselves as lenders. You didn't mention innovation in there, so tell us, Beth, what's coming next from LandBay then? What else can we expect to see?
Yeah, so you know, LandBay have always marketed themselves as a fintech company, which is one of those that when people ask you what it means, you kind of think, oh yeah, that's a really good question. And to me, it means a lender that utilizes technology to actually bring themselves forwards, not just because they have to utilize technology because that's the way the world is. So hence things like AVMs. So the next big thing for us really is product transfers. And I know that's not really huge innovation, because of course we know lots of other lenders offer them. But, you know, in the specialist buy-to-let sector that we're in, there aren't loads of lenders that offer them. So it is fairly new to our sector. And having AVMs is kind of a segue into that, because when we start to do PTs, I imagine we'll be using AVMs in that to obviously make that process quick and slick as we would. But yeah, there's always exciting things happening. You know, I think once we've got PTs launched, which I'm not entirely sure when it is, I think it will probably be back end of this year. Once we've got that launched, I'm sure we'll then look to do even more. But, you know, data is always something that we're thinking about as well, and new ways that we can give our key accounts data and our brokers data so that they can look at, you know, outcomes and, you know, the impact that things are having. So for example, with AVMs, I'll be looking at reports to see, you know, okay, well, which brokers and which networks are loving the AVMs, and, you know, how can we feed that back, and how can we improve the broker's experience by looking at those data outcomes. But yeah, I'm sure next year, if I do this again, we'll have something else exciting that's launched that I can talk about. But yeah.
Sounds brilliant. So I guess, you know, where I'd like to sort of leave this for anybody watching or listening back is, if people want more information about anything you've talked about today, or just want some more information on LandBay, how do our brokers get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, so we've got a BDM finder on the website. So the brokers would just put in their postcode where they're based, and it'll bring up their relevant BDM. We've obviously got loads of great resource on the website as well in terms of criteria and products. We've also got a product calculator, which is technically 100% accurate, unless obviously there's a down valuation or something. And the brokers can use that to compare products as well. You know, of course, we'll be at Primus Live. So if they want to come and speak to us, they can come. Haven't got the stand number yet, but, you know, come and say hello. And yeah, just get in touch. The team are really helpful, you know, and everybody is willing to, you know, speak to whoever. And also, when the brokers do submit a case, you do also get direct access to your underwriter. So, you know, there's another line of communication there for if they need case help. It's not just the BDMs and the telephone team, it's also the person actually making the decision that they can have a conversation with. So yeah, very positive.
Awesome. Well, absolutely encourage people to get in touch, and we will see you at Primus Live. We can't wait. So
Yeah, you
thanks for
do.
joining us today, Beth.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Liz.
Thanks. See you later. Bye.